this is the book Smile and Tears and Thoughts from the book by Efroim Gurman behind the front desk of that office, and Bianca will read a couple of one of the chapters.
Based on my qualifications, I should teach veterinarians. I should write handbooks and manuals for them, even though I myself am not a vet. On the other hand, I have been blessed, or damned, to be close to this breed of professionals throughout my entire life. As a friend, as an advisor, a client, and a partner, and even a boss. I think it makes sense to paint a few portraits of the ones I have known, as I have seen these interesting creatures through my own glasses. Hello, Dr. Robert. Would you recognize yourself in the following sketch? I guess you probably will, even if I have changed your name in a few details. Dr. Robert was a chemical engineer until his mid-30s, when he understood that his profession would never satisfy either his salary, ambitions, or the whims of his heart. He looked around and realized that a veterinarian was exactly what he wanted to be. He took stocks of his savings, which were far behind the needed minimum to enter vet school here. Solution: he went to Spain, where compared to the US, the education was almost free. After graduation, he passed the board exam and got his license here. Being a foreign graduate, he had trouble finding a vet job. When he finally did, the salary was not even close to what he wanted. Even more, his boss was always unhappy with him, and as soon as Dr. Robert gave the slightest reason, he was fired. He had lasted at the job for only a few years. The other nearby clinics were friendly with Dr. Robert's boss and refused to give a good position to a fired vet. Dr. Robert desperately needed to make a living. Then one day, he got lucky and met the Russian owner of a small pet grooming shop who proposed that he provided some vet services, mostly vaccinations, to her clientele. Soon, Robert realized that he could make his money without a hospital vaccinations. Dietary recommendations, simple wound and ear treatments could support him and showed him a way forward. Here I have a mention that later Robert would pay back his groomer by performing many, many favors. I met Dr. Robert during my first attempt to find a job 2 weeks after immigration. He was impressed to have an assistant with top scientific degrees in sociology and psychology. That is why he gave me the job. I was impressed by getting an American job so soon, although he paid me less than minimum wage. At the time, he was a vet happy with his life. The cash flow was rather stable. His mistress worked in his office as a manager, and his wife. A rare example of a Jewish drunk, spent the whole day at his newly bought house. Do not worry, Dr. Robert. I haven't forgotten your hobby. I'm just getting into it. Since his years in Spain, Dr. Robert has been fully preoccupied with Spanish art and music. He even learned to play the trombone. A rather typical picture from those days, the waiting room is filled with clients. They are waiting for His Majesty the vet to treat their poor sick animals. The receptionist is trying to calm clients with an explanation of how busy Dr. Roberts is with some emergency operation. While loud trombone music echoes through the waiting room, Dr. Roberts is playing a new opus in preparation for an event at a nearby synagogue. Once I was a witness to a very special situation. A guy brought in a cat for treatment of a rather severe disease. This time Dr. Robert was unlucky and the cat died the following morning. Dr. Robert could not reach the owner on the phone, and later he forgot about it altogether. It was the time for the final preparations for a new musical opus to be performed at the upcoming synagogue Purim Spiel. So he filled out the papers and sent the body to the crematory. A day or two later, the owner came in to visit his sick cat, and we were unable to present the cat. The owner was a huge, strong guy with the manners of a mafia man. He grabbed Robert and gave him an ultimatum. Okay, I understand that the cat could die. He was old and sick, but I want to say goodbye to him. You have 3 hours to get me his body so I can give him a final kiss, or you'll be saying goodbye to your clinic," he bellowed. What to do? Robert ran to the crematorium. There he found a cat of the same color as the mafia guy's cat. The technicians got an order to bathe and brush the body in order to make it look nice. A rare and unpleasant task to groom a dead cat, I have to say. Then the body was placed on a nice pillow, and Robert invited the grieving owner to say his last words to the cat. Everything went well until the owner discovered that after death, his beloved cat changed gender. Surprisingly, most people loved Dr. Robert despite his idiosyncrasies. He did his job well. His attitude was mostly nice. When his work did not conflict with his music lessons, his prices were versatile. Sometimes he would look at a poor client and give him a symbolic bill, but he did not put his heart into his work.